There's a lot of complexities with smart pricing. Once you enter into this realm, it's a technology-driven realm, and you have to pay attention to it and maintain it meticulously because a slight variation of it may leave a gap or may sit down there and leave you with some frustrated customers angry over whatever. But whenever we talk about airlines, most of us are used to the aspect of having different types of boarding classes. Now calling class one, now calling class two, all the way to class six is a really common aspect of it. Does everybody pay the same price, or there's six different types of pricing there? You probably have the six different types of pricing. In theory, we're boarding to sit down there and distribute people quickly throughout the whole plane, making it go faster. That's the theory. But you already know that first class is typically always the first boarding class. And they sit down there and they put them in their seats and they give them their cocktails and their menu, whatever it may be, to sit down and pacify them as they watch the rest of us go through and trudge through their area to go back to our area in the back of the plane. So you have the complexities of that aspect of it. So a flight can have a lot of ultimate original destination pairs. You might have a plane going from this point to this point, and then maybe you can upgrade the seats in the process. You have different ways of doing that, different types of seat allocations, different types of plane configurations. You may have one or even two stops on a plane, and it just depends. Do you have to get off, and then are you certain that they're going to transfer your luggage? A lot of different aspects of that. So prices change over time. A flight can be expensive on some days and times. It used to be that Tuesday was always the best day to purchase a ticket for a plane. I'm not certain that's true anymore. There's different types of complexities that are involved on a regular basis as to when you should buy. The best thing to do is go check and see on a regular basis a few months in advance as to when the pricing for the flight you're looking for is out there. If it's a leisure thing, if it's business, you just end up having somebody call it yourself or somebody else and just book it because you don't care. That kind of is the philosophy in the world of business. Two different types of major customer mindsets, but it just depends if you're a small business person versus the big one, big company, small company, whatever it may be, whether or not you should travel at all is now a big thing because we do so much on Zoom and so on. But smart pricing, airlines prompted other industries to start looking at similar practices regarding pricing, and they tried to transfer a lot of the different aspects of revenue management even though the industries are specifically different, some of them applied, so it depends where you're out there. Differential pricing, charging different prices to different customers because you're looking at different types of markets, especially people that what are they willing to pay, whether it's fashion, whether it's airlines, sometimes it's dynamic pricing over time. With us airlines, we're used to always traveling early and planning 4 to 6 months out in advance. Sometimes that's a bad idea. Sometimes it's cheaper to buy the ticket 3 weeks out rather than 6 months out, and it's cheaper or more expensive. It just kind of depends. You really don't know. Charging different customers different prices according to their price sensitivity. You may sit down there and have an entry person come in and then say, oh, by the way, you can upgrade this for $30 more. This is $70 more. Oh, you already have the $75 upgrade. For another $50, you can have this. That actually is a come on now in the world of today's air travel. Dell did that by distinguishing originally way back when, back in the 80s, about different private customers. You would have different deals, and corporate customers would have a different deal altogether because they're buying a volume number of computers versus one or two computers for somebody's household. But I purchased a Dell once upon a time, and I customized the computer for all of my particular needs, and it worked very well for a long period of time. It's difficult to do in a lot of cases, but here are six different types of pricing strategies. Pay attention to them because you can probably adapt them, probably at least one or two of them to your industry if this type of pricing differential is actually something of interest to you. Put it in your head, not just for this class, but also for the future. Group pricing, channel pricing, regional pricing, time-based differentiation, product version, and coupons or rebates. We're going to cover all of them right now. Group pricing, discounts is the specific groups. Of course, senior citizens. Now, you may not realize that I realize that I look very young, but I might possibly fit in that category. So I like this one. Okay, whenever you go to dinner, say, I'm a senior citizen, even if you're 32 years old like me. Okay, special software discount to universities. I get the Wall Street Journal because I'm a college professor. And instead of paying the $460 I was paying previously annually, I'm paying $25 because I'm part of that special group and I like it. Okay, and I talk about the Wall Street Journal. Oh, they get a lot of free advertising from me. Student discounts at movie theaters, ladies' night at bars. We've been doing these special discounts for years and years and years, and nobody seems to be concerned about it because they realize they're not part of that group of people. So it works when there's a correlation between group members and price sensitivity. Then you have channel pricing, where that's the same product sold through different channels. I want to get this blender. Yes, I got this blender over here and it's spectacular. It does all kinds of different things. I bought mine at Costco, said my son to me. And so then I turned around and says, I actually got it off Amazon and I paid $100 less. What? What? I says, I think it's exactly the same thing. It's a Ninja blender, and I got this over here, and I got this. I even got an extra little thing over here. I didn't get that. Well, okay, sorry, different channel pricing. Is fabulous for having great prices, but in this case, we got a better deal just by buying it online. So it just depends what you're doing out there. Channel pricing, it could be Costco, it could be Walmart, it could be whatever channel. Sometimes you'll have different pricing. And there's regional pricing. I'm recording this in California. Our pricing for a lot of the exact same products is much cheaper in any other state because we have the highest cost of living, including our grocery bills are $30 more per week above the national average. Oh, yeah, it's great. It never rains in Southern California, except number one, it does rain. Number two, you need to have a lot of money to keep off that rain all the time because the cost of living is so high. That said, there's different pricing they'll have because of different regulations. If you look at different states, you'll see different types of business climates. And California has one of the worst business climates in the United States. And that is a plague because our prices tend to be higher. So if you're going to do business, sometimes it's better to incorporate in states like Wyoming, where they have almost very few restrictions on business versus a state with high restrictions. It depends where you're at. The regional pricing is a big deal. And also the cost of living is a big deal and the expectation of your customers as to what they're willing to pay in the process. So regional pricing is a big deal. Time-based. Okay, Amazon.com charges different rates for different delivery times. A lot of times, if you get an Amazon Prime customer, it's pretty common that you get stuff delivered the same day or the next day. That is very common if you live in the right area or if you have a warehouse close to you. If it's not, you may have a different amount of delivery time and expectation and different types of pricing, and depending where you're at, it's time-based. Product version, you may have a product that has all of these features over here, and the price is this amount. And then you have another product, it is almost identical, but it's missing two things on it. So therefore, the price is much more inexpensive. Those two things you're missing a lot of times are irrelevant to the main function of the item. It's just you don't have them. And a lot of times those extra items, they break more easily than the others. But regardless, it's a product version, and you may have 4 or 5 different versions of the product to justify different pricing because you're appealing to different price markets. Over here, I want everything. Okay, and over here, oh, it's an awful lot of money. Oh, wait, there's one over here. It's a budget item. I can pick this up. A lot of times it is just simply the perception. They may have exactly the same amount of money, but the issue comes down to their perception as to what reality is to them, especially in the market. You also have a group out there that loves coupons. They will shop till they drop looking for a deal with a coupon. Coupons are a big deal, and rebates. And a lot of times these are really good promotions because of the fact that the vast majority of people don't address them. Sometimes they'll buy a product with a rebate on it and never turn the rebate, and they find the rebate stuff in a pocket or whatever at the back of a dresser drawer a year and a half later, and it's too late to use it. It just depends. Mail-in rebates at the point of sale. Sometimes you go in and you'll have an automatic rebate at the cash register. Costco uses that one as well as several other grocery stores. They have that type of rebate where you automatically, when you buy it, they will send in the rebate, so they knock off the price at the register for you. It requires a lot of analysis, and sometimes you worry about each retailer decides on the price and the amount to order from the manufacturer to really maximize profit. Why don't they just drop the price from the manufacturer to retailer and eliminate the rebate? It seems like it's easier, but it's a choice. Sometimes it's that sizzle that sits down there where the customer has a sizzle because I got a good deal. I'm getting this rebate on it. Everybody else paid full price, not me, because I'm getting a rebate. Mail-in rebates. Manufacturer influences customer demands, retailers' profit increases. Look at the strategy. It implies that not every customer will mail the coupon to the manufacturer, which is absolutely true. If they just reduce the wholesale price, the retailer keeps the discount and doesn't transfer it to the customer sometimes. So it just depends what the goal is. Try them differently depending upon your market and upon the different pricing markets that you have. Order quantity is less than the realized demand. It just depends which strategy. So pay attention to it. Look on the different market segments. The 6 main ones are listed here: group, channel, regional, time-based, product version, and rebates. All of them are smart strategies, especially choose one or two of them initially if you're going to go into smart pricing and see how it works out. And then if you have success, start planning for other different kinds of strategies to improve your overall bottom line for you and your customers. Take care.